Good morning, everyone. It's honestly because they were down two with 3 seconds left, and it looks like Portland was gonna steal that game from us. And then Mikal Bridges came up with arguably the biggest shot of the year. Honestly, like that was such a big cold-blooded three-pointer because if he misses that, we lose, and we're going into San Francisco to play a tough Warriors team who's been hot, 1-3 on this West Coast trip. So yesterday win, I think I speak for a lot of people in saying that yesterday's win was very important. Now, it was a game that went into overtime, very high stress game, honestly. A lot more stressful than I hoped for, but the bottom line is that they figured out a way to win. They overcame getting out rebounded 52 to 38 on the boards. So they got out rebounded by 14. Um, they they also overcame missing a lot of three pointers, and they gave up 17 3 pointers, and the Knicks hit 12. So they got outscored 17 to 12 on the 3 point line. So if you do the math, Portland hit five more threes than us, which is 15 more points. So the Knicks overcame a lot yesterday to get that win in overtime, and Bridges was huge. He was, besides the game winner shot was obviously the biggest shot of the game, but he was huge all game. He had 33 points on 13 of 21 shooting, 2 for 4 from the field, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, got 4 rebounds, 4 assists. OG Anunoby also had a decent game. He had 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and Cat was big for. Cat was very efficient. He only shot 12 times, 8 for 12, 21 points. And Miles McBride had 11 points. Also, Josh Hart, 4 for 14. Not a good shooting night, but he did give you 11 rebounds and 11 points. So, Josh Hart, even if he's not scoring efficiently, he's still playing defense, giving you boards. But he gotta be aggressive sometimes. He gets to that point sometimes down the stretch where he don't look at the rim enough. He just looks for other guys. If you're in the paint or you got an open shot, you gotta be willing to take that shot. Like, you have to be willing. You can't just hesitate, Hart. You gotta go aggressive and finish like you always do. You gotta be aggressive down the stretch. But other than that, I mean, it was a good win. It was not a pretty game to say the least. As Not a pretty game, as the Knicks blew a 5 point lead in the fourth quarter, and it was forced to go into overtime for the second time on this West Coast trip. And I remember being like so nervous about that game because I'm like, it shouldn't be going into overtime. We can't lose this game. And when Klingon got that offensive rebound and got fouled and made the air one, I was nervous that we might have gave the game away, honestly, and that it was gonna be another tough loss. It'd been our second tough loss on this trip because they lost a game against the Lakers earlier on the trip in this similar fashion, where we had a lead in the fourth quarter and we gave it away by not executing. But I'm glad the Knicks was able to pull this one out. Sometimes when you're on the road, no matter the team you're playing against, and Portland, even though they're not going to the playoffs, they're a very scrappy, young, hungry team. So nothing was going to be given. And on the road, especially if the Knicks want to be successful in the playoffs, they're going to have to learn to pull out games like this, whether it's with Brunson or without Brunson. Sometimes you got to pull games out of the fire. And the Knicks was able to do that, to even up their record at 2-2. So they've bounced back nicely after starting the trip 0-2 and losing having two gut punching losses in LA. They were able to bounce back the other night and blew out the Sacramento Kings, and tonight they sweat it out, but they sweat it out a 1 point win in overtime. But it doesn't matter how you win, it's that you win. Because if we would have lost that game, that would have been a devastating blow. Because now we're going into San Francisco against a Golden State team who has won 12 of their last 13 with Jimmy Butler with the acquisition. So that was a much important win because now if we could get the win in San Francisco, we finish the trip 3-2 heading back home, which will be good considering where the trip started and how we lost our final home game before we went out on this West Coast trip to the Warriors, and we lost our first two games to the LA teams. Now the Saturday game won't be easy game. Obviously, the Warriors are one of the hottest teams right now. They got Curry, they got Jimmy Butler, they have not Kaminga, but they have a lot of young guys, got a lot of energy right now. They're revitalized. So if the Knicks could get off to a good start in Golden State, that would be helpful for them. And they have to play 48 minutes, and they're going to have to weather Golden State's run and try to limit the turnovers. Like this past game, they have 15 turnovers. If they could limit the turnovers, keep it to 11 or less, you give yourself a chance and keep moving the ball like they've been doing. Keep getting out on the break. I love that they've been getting out on the break more. I feel like we're a better team the more assists we average and the more we move the ball. But obviously, I'm really proud of that they came through yesterday and Bridges came through and they were able to find a way to win that game. But anyway, thanks everyone for listening to me on this Thursday morning. It's me, Jordan Thomas, saying have a good rest of your Thursday and have a good weekend, everyone.